tonight we're going to talk about the ghost box. During the making of our films, Thomas and I get a lot of questions about what kind of equipment do we use, how do we apply it, why do we use it in certain situations, and tonight I would like to answer a few of those questions. Now, I have 3 examples of ghost boxes here with me. This is a Chicago Spirit Wave. This is a PSB-11 manufactured by Pro Measure Gary Galka, and this is a Steve's box, Steve Holte. Now, all these boxes, are they the same? What do they do different? They're ghost boxes, right? Well, they are, but they do things a little differently depending how they're tuned. Like the Chicago Spirit Wave box, you would want to use in a more urban area where there's lots of radio stations. That's how this one's set up. It's got great sound, but if you're in a rural area that not a lot of radio stations, then this is not going to be really your first choice. The Steve's box, it does well all the way around. You know, if you're in an urban area, if you're in a rural area, it does a really good job in both places. Now, the workhorse of the 3 is the PSB-11. I know the PSB-11 and PSB-7 get some bad knocks sometimes. Now, I'm going to clue you in. I'm going to help you out. In none of these boxes, in any of these boxes, do the entities, spirits, use words from a radio station. That is a fallacy. Fallacy means BS. Now, the reason being is they use a frequency inside the white noise that's generated by the radio stations. As it cycles through the radio stations, now I'll give you an example of white noise. Okay, we're just going to go do a quick setup. I'll turn the volume up just a little bit where you can hear it. Okay. Okay, you hear it cycling through the stations. You're hearing a lot of noise. You're not hearing any radio stations. You're not hearing any voices. It's generating white noise. This is in an rural environment. I really like using the ghost box in a more rural environment because it cuts down on the possibility of contamination, too many radio stations coming through. Okay, now that's an example of white noise. Think of it like if someone's across the street and you're trying to get their attention. Okay, and you're speaking, and it's a little bit noisy and you're shouting at them, hey, can you hear me? Okay, more than likely they cannot, or if they can, they barely can hear you. Now, think of it using a megaphone. Okay, they can hear you just fine, because you've amplified your voice. That's all it is. The entities, the spirits, use the frequency inside the white noise to amplify their voices in order to communicate. It's not hocus pocus, it's just science that's not been explained. All of these are really good boxes, but I wanted to dispel some of the fallacies and hit you with some of the facts. All these are good in certain situations. Now, and no one being the better of the other. As I said, probably my pick of the 3, everyday, day in, day out workhorse, PSB-7 or 11. If you've got a little bit more money in your budget, I would highly recommend the Steve's box. It's a little bit more refined. You get, the EVPs aren't as loud most of the time, but they're very clear. So this is also a good box, and the Chicago Spirit Wave box is good in urban areas. Now, let's talk about something you need with your spirit box: a good recorder. We use a lot of Sony products, Tascam and Olympus, but the Sony for day in and day out use is hard to beat. These are $70-80, and a couple of AA batteries, they'll go for 1,000 hours, I think. Let me make sure that I'm telling you right. Yep, couple AA batteries, and they go for 1,000 hours. You can't beat that. The quality on these are really, really good, the sound quality. Now, why do you ask that we want to use both of them at the same time, and how do we do that? Well, we want to use the voice recorder. We want to place it about 2.5 to 3 feet away from the ghost box. The reason being is if you don't, whenever you put your audio up to review it, it's just going to be really, really loud. You're going to drown out any EVPs possibly that you could have gotten. The EVPs are going to be much clearer if you put this 2.5 to 3 foot away. Now, how does this voice recorder catch an EVP? Well, the human range of hearing is 20 to 200 hertz. So anything in that range you're going to be able to hear between 20 and 200. Now below 20 is infrasound. Above 200 is ultrasound. A lot of your EVPs, I would venture to say 75% come in at infrasound, below the range of human hearing. This recorder will pick that up. Now, so you always want to mate a good spirit box with a good recorder 2.5 to 3 foot away. If this has been informative and you want to hear more about the kind of equipment that Thomas and I use during these investigations, please let us know. Also, go to www.thecryptocrew.com, hit the like button, and subscribe if you not already have. See you next time.